main focus is really to try and get the performance right for what our customers are looking for. So whether the ball comes out as a solid, a pearl, or a hybrid, we don't really worry about, that aspect of the ball. We just want to make sure we have the right additives to get at the performance. With those slight tweaks to the cover, this really makes the Prism Warp fit right in between the Prism Solid and Hybrid. Comparing the Prism Warp to the original Prism Solid, for me it was about a 5-board move with my feet, and still trying to get at that same break point, but the Prism Solid just hooked way, way sooner, so it didn't quite get that far down the lane, and the Prism Warp was about 4 boards stronger than the Prism Hybrid.
A lot of times for me, when I have a solid in my hand, if I make a miss that shoots the ball past the window and you get a little steep with your entry angle, you might rattle a 10, but with this ball, it still put all 10 back. And it seemed like the shape, whether it was a little bit sooner at the break point or a little bit later, the ball just kind of sucked up to the pocket regardless. And it was just a lot of fun to throw.
Another major feature of the Prism Warp is that it does have Dynamicor, which increases the COR, or the coefficient of restitution of the ball. So when it gets down to the pin deck, it's really going to slap them around. Something about those Dynamicor strikes, you really can hear the difference in how the ball goes through the pins.
I started with the Prism Warp. I was really impressed with the down lane motion, considering that it's a solid cover. When I went to the Solid, I made like a 3-board move left with my feet, simply because the ball's a little bit sooner. And then when I went to the Hybrid, I actually moved about 3 boards right of the Warp to get that ball to shape up. I've got about a 6 or 7 board difference between the original Solid and the Hybrid, and then the Warp fits right in the middle there. With the new additive to the cover, you're going to be able to keep the Warp in your hand a little bit longer than you might have been able to with the original too. You can get your Prism Warp at your local pro shop on March 5th. The ball's a real winner. You're going to want it in your bag.